Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Very good afternoon to you then, and welcome along to the Commentary Hub's alternative coverage of the FA Cup semi-final. Crystal Palace meet Aston Villa for a place back here at Wembley in the final next month. Their opponents will be confirmed tomorrow as Nottingham Forest take on Man City in the other semi-final in just under 24 hours' time in the capital. South London and proud is a sign that holds aloft the Palace end at one end, Villa fans at the other, as the teams have emerged from the tunnel ahead of this game today. I'm Russ Vernon, and let me run you through the bit of some of the statistics ahead of this game this afternoon as we see the players out on the field of play. Today will be the fourth time that these sides have been drawn together in the FA Cup. Villa won the previous three encounters. First one back in 1913, February 1913. Villa won by 5-0. 6th of January 1962 is the second one, with Villa winning by 4-3. And in 2010, Aston Villa beat Crystal Palace by 3-1. Aston Villa have been in their 22nd FA Cup semi-final, won 11 and lost 10 of their previous 21 semi-final appearances prior to today. Villa won the FA Cup back in 1887, and they found the net 40 times on the way to lift the trophy, the highest tally by any club en route to Cup glory. We'll bring you some more statistics. But let's take a break from that and bring you the starting lineups for today's game. Starting off with Crystal Palace, managed by Oliver Glasner, who has made 3 changes in the 2-2 draw from the Emirates Stadium against Arsenal in midweek just 3 days ago. Returning to the side is Chris Richards, Ismail Assar, Jean-Philippe Mateta. They take the place of Lerma, Deveni and Eddie Nketiah. Aston Villa have made 2 changes to their side today from their defeat to Man City in midweek. Marco Asensio and Ollie Watkins come in for Jacob Ramsey and Marcus Rashford. So the 2 lineups are as followed. In goal for Crystal Palace is Dean Henderson, Richards, Lacroix and Getty across the back. Munoz and Mitchell in front of the back 4. And then it's Wharton and Kamara in the middle of those 2, with Ismail Assar and Eric Eze behind Jean-Philippe Mateta. For Aston Villa, it's Emi Martinez in goal, Matty Cash, Henry Conza, Pau Torres and Luca Dean across the back. Jean McGinn and Boubacar Kamara sitting in front of the back 4. Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tillemans and Marco Asensio are behind the lone man in attack of Ollie Watkins. 2 captains, Margay and John McGinn respectively. Let's look at the subs benches. It's Matt Turner, Joel Ward, Jefferson Limmer, Eddie Nketiah, Nathaniel Klein will use remain Asa, Ben Chilwell and Justin Deveni for Crystal Palace. As for Aston Villa, Robin Olsen, Tyrone Mings, Ross Barkley, Andres Garcia, Daniel Marlon, Ian Matson, Amadou Onana, Leon Bailey and Jacob Ramsey. The referee today is Anthony Taylor, assisted by Guy Bedrick and Lee Betts. Rob Jones is the 4th official. Reserve assistant referees Anthony Espinal, Craig Paulson and Nick Upton in VAR, supported by John Brooks this afternoon. Let's get ready then for a big FA Cup tie at Wembley Stadium. Who will come out on top? Will it be Crystal Palace or will it be Aston Villa? Crystal Palace, incidentally, some stats on them in a moment as well. Villa have won each of their 4th FA Cup semi-finals, a feat only bettered by clubs from the pre-Football League era. Crystal Palace are the only side in the FA Cup semi-finals yet to lift the trophy by making their 6th attempt in the FA Cup semi-finals with the pattern reading loss, win, loss, win, loss. So could today be the day that they get another win on the board? The original Crystal Palace club made history by reaching the semi-finals of the very first FA Cup tournament. Those stats are brought you ahead of kick-off from the brilliant FA Cup fact file. We're almost ready to get underway then in this big game. And Wembley Stadium, Crystal Palace taking the goal away to my right hand side in the first half, and we're now underway with Dean Henderson all in green sending the ball long downfield. Palace in their traditional colours, Villa in their change strip of all white, as there's a ball up into the air from Richards, as Crystal Palace look to bring this ball this afternoon. We're spending with you today's Emi Martinez has the ball at his feet inside of the penalty area. All in black today's Emi Martinez, and joining with Philip Mateta supporting that head brace after his recent injury against Millwall in this competition earlier in the season. And now Ezri Konsa will bring the ball forward on towards Matty Cash and gets the ball forward, but Crystal Palace intercept. Matty Cash is played in behind you. Wonderful run from Matty Cash, going to get the ball to the penalty, and that's good defending there from number 5, Maxence Lacroix, by there defending well up against Matty Cash. Couldn't quite see who he was initially. Across there for Crystal Palace defending against Matty Cash due to the red and blue smoke that was let off at that end of the stadium by Crystal Palace fans as kickoff took the process. Oliver Glasner done a remarkable job at Crystal Palace since taking over. 9 seconds gone on the clock then. Still Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0. Dean Henderson, the England international, will send the ball long downfield, ball back into the England fold by Thomas Tuchel as one of the goalkeepers in the last international break. It's Tyree Mitchell looking to try and break into that England setup under Thomas Tuchel, and he drops it back here to Kamara. Now Eze drops it back to Richards into the centre circle, and Lacroix. And now Margay, featured quite regular for England under Thomas Tuchel in the first couple of games of his tenure, featured quite a bit towards the end of the Gareth Southgate's era as well, and also featured under interim boss Lee Carsley as well. Here is Kamara, who drops it back there to the aforementioned Gertie, who switches the play well, looking for Daniel Munoz, who brings it down on his thigh as well against John McGinn. There's it back to Richards, under pressure from Ollie Watkins, drops the ball back to Dean Henderson. Ollie Watkins will be trying to force his way into the reckoning of Thomas Tuchel as one of the England strikers in the upcoming international break in June, as it's dropped back by Pau Torres to Emi Martinez, who the Argentine winning World Cup goalkeeper in the last World Cup is Emi Martinez, who was part of that squad. And now Pau Torres will drop the ball inside here now to Kamara. Away to Cash, it goes back again, it goes this time to Ezri Konsa. Konsa will look up here and try and bring this ball forward. Moses studs over the ball and finds Boubacar Kamara. Drops it back there to Ezri Konsa again, who's just keeping the ball well for Aston Villa, knocking around at the back with Manikash, and also around at the back with the Palace who got possession. Villa are not under any pressure while they've got to the back. Well, they could be under pressure now, as it's Tyree Mitchell for the Eagles, inside to Eze, who just loses out there, and Konsa just turns away from Mateta, who keeps hold of possession for Aston Villa, who finds Pau Torres, and now here comes Luca Dean for the Villains. Good ball inside to Yuri Tillemans, who was dropped back from the attacking midfield well into the more defensive one. Him and McGinn seems to swap places for the time being. We'll be switching the places all afternoon, trying to confuse the Palace defence and midfield, who they needed to pick up. Martinez with possession. And it remains Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0, 4.5 minutes gone in the FA Cup, and here comes Anthony Taylor, who's just stopping the play for a moment here. I think it's because the smoke bomb's still out down at the Palace end, and there's balloons on the pitch as well. Well, the play is now back underway as Martinez founds Pau Torres. And now there's a cross there to Konza, who can fetch it up over halfway. There's the shot of the Villa fans, who have come here in numbers today. Palace have also come here in numbers as well. And there's a ball over the top here for Ollie Watkins. Good control into Luca Dean. Watkins continues to run down the outside. Instead he goes back to Yuri Tillemans, and there's Asensio. Round the corner for Luca Dean. Asensio again trying to play back into Dean, who's blocked off as it by Daniel Munoz. No, says the referee. Anthony Taylor. And Withenshaw in Greater Manchester. He's in charge of the FA Cup semi-final today. Gary Beswick and Lee Betts are his assistants today. Rob Jones is a man on a fourth official duty this afternoon. Should be a good game tomorrow in the FA Cup as well. You can hear that team on the channel as well. Paul James be your man providing your coverage from the game this afternoon. From the game tomorrow afternoon. We're spending with it this afternoon. Paul James on our Sunday afternoon FA Cup semi-final offering, which will be between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest, who will get through to the final back at Wembley Stadium. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0 is the scoreline if you're just tuning into us here. 6.5 minutes played. No real goal-mouth action thus far in the match. Both teams trying to feel their way into the competition and into this clash this afternoon and try to stamp their own authority on it. Torres has the ball for Aston Villa. There's Kamara, who turns away from Mateta, and Mateta scores him down really well there, just to keep hold of the ball, rolls it to the far side, and there he gets it back now. And that was a brilliant bit of play involving Marco Asensio there, and we'll come across to that side for a moment. Now Konza. Onto halfway, Manikac. Back it goes there to Konza once more. And now here comes Konza into Pau Torres, and Torres gets this ball forward for Luca Dean. Dean drops it back into Torres. Now here comes Kamara. Kamara does well here for Crystal Palace to keep Crystal Palace at bay, should I say, there as really keep hold of possession. It's back now with their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, who finds Luca Dean to come forward all in white to the Aston Villa. It's like I'm watching Leeds United play with the villains being all in white this afternoon. Leeds United will be playing Aston Villa and Crystal Palace next season, back in the Premier League after promotion last Monday was confirmed. They go head to head with Burnley for the title. Burnley back on top of the Championship after thumping 5-0 win over QPR this afternoon as Crystal Palace won a free kick foul on Margay by Morgan Rogers. Matty Cash in the picture there. Maybe Matty Cash would have found him, and in fact it was. Not much in that really, to be fair, and not worthy of a booking according to the referee Anthony Taylor. Here's Richards into Lacroix on the edge of his own penalty area. Finds Gay, who sends this ball forward. Eze trying to flick it on, and he's back with Cash now to Konza, and Konza will take a touch just outside his own penalty area and drive forward. He puts his foot on the ball just a couple of yards away from his own penalty area, rolls it to Cash, who can send it long downfield, looking for the winner of Morgan Rogers. It's headed away by Gertie. And now Wharton sends the ball forward. Mateta trying to go on the end of that, but too much on that. So Manny Cash defends well and comes into the centre-back role as Conrad pushed forward. There is the ball back from Marco Asensio. And Adam Wharton there being a really good journey for him. Started out at Blackburn Rovers, worked his way into the Crystal Palace side and set up into the Premier League, was involved in the last major tournament under Gareth Southgate, and then got up during the interim spell, but now we're down in the under 21 setup. Is Adam Wharton as the ball away there from Maxime Leclerc. He's put out for a throw-in to Aston Villa. Just over 10 minutes played right now. It's still 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa in the FA Cup semi-final. Here is Pau Torres for Villa into Kamara. Torres once more. Asensio to McGinn, who loses out against Richards. Now Munoz, Wharton, back to Daniel Munoz again, who charges over halfway, plays it an E1-2 there. Not this time, as he tried to play an E1-2 with Ismail Assar there, but Assar just put too much on that return pass to the right wing back for Crystal Palace today. Oliver Glasner. Remarkable job he's done to Selhurst Park since they come in. Everyone thought it was going to be a rubbish appointment by the Palace board, but they have got it right, and they know what it takes when to get a good manager in. He came in to replace the former England boss Roy Hodgson when he left, and he's done a sterling job in charge of the Eagles. And their fans away to my left hand side are bouncing early on in singing, but the fans away to my right are trying to outnumber them. There's just some of the fans watching on. One realised they were on TV, so just give a massive smile to the cameras. As here's Kamara, who winds up a long range effort and into the Palace fans. He goes behind the goal away to my left hand side. And it remains 0-0, and you've got to say this has been a good game to watch this far, even though it's still goalless. From the Crystal Palace boss Roy Hodgson, he's at Wembley Stadium this afternoon. Just seen a photo of him that's just come through to us. Unai has won 11 trophies as a manager, looking to add the FA Cup to that one in charge of Aston Villa. This season. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0, just coming up towards 13 minutes gone in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley Stadium this afternoon. We're spinning your man getting you through the action today. And here is Pau Torres for Aston Villa. Move towards the halfway line. Still got it. Rolls across the centre circle for Ezri Konsa. Konsa now will thank Cash. And Cash gets the ball forward there into the brilliant Rodgers, who just battles well with Mitchell. And Rodgers wins this out of flirt. There's the legendary Mark Bright, just alongside Steve Parrish, Crystal Palace chairman and legend, sat together. Mark Bright was a wonderful broadcaster as well. Used to swim when I was growing up. Good to see him in the attendance tonight. He always attends every single Palace match if he can. There's Mark Bright, who I've been told, as there's a long ball forward from Emi Martinez looking for the run of Ollie Watkins, who brings it down well on this left hand side. Back he goes to Luca Dean. Drops it infield there to Pau Torres, and across now to Ezri Konsa. Tillemans Asensio drops it back and further back by Konza to the goalkeeper Emi Martinez. It remains Palace 0, Villa 0. If you're just tuning into us here on the commentary, we're also live on commentary. We're also live on our partner channels as well, Storm FM and Focus on Football for the FA Cup semi-final. Here is Luca Dean. Dean sends the ball long downfield, and there's Watkins who goes down. And Zita says, play on. No free kick given. As there is Gay across to Richards. Richards does well and finds Lacroix. Now, Kamara. Gay across to Richards as Palace will now try and keep a bit of momentum. 15 and a half minutes played, still in the goalless between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Tomorrow, we've got FA Cup action for you tomorrow in the other semi-final, Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. We'll look for a place in the final at Wembley again. To play one of these two sides, will it be Crystal Palace or Aston Villa in the FA Cup final? We'll have to wait and see. Will there be a semi-final? If it's a draw, we'll have extra time and potentially penalties this afternoon. Should this side remain a draw? As the Palace fans are just bouncing around away to my left-hand side, and good to see Villa fans really yet to make any noise. All the noise is coming from my left-hand side and Crystal Palace fans. Here comes McGinn with the ball over the top. Cut out now. Jean-Philippe Mateta makes a storming run forward and is fouled by Boubacar Kamara. Just talking to for the Villa midfielders. He knows there's the first yellow card of the afternoon. Goes to Boubacar Kamara for the foul on Jean-Philippe Mateta. And it's a definite free kick that. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0. Just tuning into us this afternoon. Jean-Philippe Mateta, good player he is in the Premier League for Aston Villa and for Crystal Palace, let's say, who's done well against Villa in games he's played against them prior to today's match, I was going to say. Kamara sends the ball into the penalty area. Lacroix heads it across, headed away by Luca Dean. It comes now to Richards up against McGinn. Richards offered McGinn an further throw to Crystal Palace. Aston Villa captain there, McGinn, did really well to defend against them as Palace fans are still making all the noise as Richards will look to launch this ball into the penalty area with a long throw in. Good ball into the penalty. Pauto's heads it away. Munoz is there, comes out only as far as Mitchell. Mitchell delivers the ball back in towards the penalty area, looking towards Kamara. Heads up and away, comes down for Gay inside the penalty area. Gay can't take a strike or goal. Cleared away by Kamara. And now Morgan Rogers is coming away with possession for Aston Villa. Rogers goes down and wins this side a free kick in a good crossing position on the left hand side as Palace defend. And there is the yellow card to the way of Tyreek Mitchell there, and he just pulled back Morgan Rogers, pulled him to the ground, and the referee Anthony Taylor no choice but to pull out the yellow card for Tyreek Mitchell, and a deserved yellow card as well. As Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0. Villa fans now singing and getting behind their crowd, their team on the field of play. Way to my right hand side now. We just finally woke up with Palace fans just in silence for the moment as the free kick will be coming in from Marco Asensio to towards the penalty area. Will the Villa players get their heads to the end of this one? I wonder. Rolling towards the penalty area. And he's put behind by Richards for a corner kick to Aston Villa. Good defending there from the Palace man, who just manages to get the header away, and the header at the vital moment as well. And it remains Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0. And Marco Asensio to that corner, or to that free kick community. We're taking this corner now into towards the near post. It's flicked on again and put behind yet. I thought it was another corner. I thought they'd come off Kamara there, you know. I say yet another corner, but it goes out for a goal kick instead, which Dean Henderson will take. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 0. If you just tune into his ear this afternoon, Russ Fillon guiding you through the action. It must be a good start to this FA Cup action. 20 minutes on the clock, and it will remain locked at 0-0. As Kamara just gets the ball back to Richards, who feeds it across to Mark Gay, and Gay can charge for the Palace captain. Gets it down the line to Eza. Now Richard Eza just does well to keep hold of possession, but the ball was kept in by Eza according to the officials. And they did really well there. Here comes Kamara. The ball in field to Wharton. Now that's a wonderful turn here by the number 7, Ishmael Assau's ball in towards the penalty area. Goes wide in the end. And good one from Ishmael Assau, and a good cross in. But just too much on the ball into the penalty area. And Villa have a goal kick, and they can have a regroup. Yeah. Wonderful bit of run from Ishmael Assau. Whipped the ball in. Just too much on that cross. Could have took it on a bit further there, Ishmael Assau. And if he had, it would have probably been a better crossing position. Or even played in Daniel Munoz, who was in a better crossing position than he was. Here is Martinez to find Ezri Konza. And it remains 0-0. Wonderful control here as Villa are on the front foot now with Ollie Watkins. And Watkins is doing well, a good bit of play. Can't pick out Luca Dean as he tried to keep hold of position down in the corner. Now Palace through Eza can try and come forward. He goes down. The referee says play on. Catch back to Dean. Now Torres. 0-0 is the scoreline. Kamara. More should I say rather than Kamara. A bit of play this is Torres to Dean. And look at Dean just sends this ball down the line. Play round the corner from Asensio to Watkins. And Watkins wanting the free kick there. The ball goes out of play for a throw into to Aston Villa off of Mark Gay, who come across defending that situation well from left to right there. As Anthony Taylor just speaking to his VAR people and his officials. And that's a good challenge actually from Kamara. Gets it to the ball as Luca Dean goes to pull the cross in. It's off Wharton. And he goes behind. Does he go behind for a corner or is it a throw-in? It will be a throw-in. He just went out just before the corner flag rather than after the corner flag. So the throw-in is what's going to be taking place. Here is the ball in towards the penalty. It comes all the way across. Shot to the back post and just wide from Aston Villa. And that was Morgan Rogers' big chance to open the scoring. Wonderful ball in from Luca Dean. Come all the way across to the back post here. And no one picked him up. And Rogers just hits into the ground. And he goes behind for a goal kick. Hit it down into the ground. And just whacked post there in front of the Palace fans, who are jumping for joy. That went the wrong side of the right side of the post from their persuasion is the Villa fans. Just see that effort again. As a man goes down here for Aston Villa. It's a free kick for Aston Villa. Eye boot by Eza. And who is it who's gone down? Is it Matty Cash? I'm trying to work out who it is who's gone down here for Aston Villa. Yes, it is Matty Cash, and for me, that should not be given as an eye boot because Cash puts his head down towards the ball after the foot's already been up and playing the ball. That is not a free kick for me. Where's he supposed to put his foot there? Eza. Rob Jones is being spoken to there by Oliver Glasner. He's not happy that the decision was given against his side. I can tell you that for now. Here comes Luca Dean to Torres, Kamara, Konza, Catch, who just got a cheap free kick there as ball played forward and flicked on by Rodgers for Asensio, back towards Rodgers again. Palace intercept and they will try and come away with possession. That's only from Gay to find Kamara. And Kamara goes down on the challenge of Asensio and it will be a free kick to Crystal Palace here, will it? I believe it is. We'll just see that again. And a definite foul by Marco Asensio there. And now here comes Mark Gay. Over halfway to Adam Wharton. Crossfield pass to Munoz. Now Richards. And now here they come again. Gay. To Eza. Back to Gay again. Wharton. McClure. And they're keeping all the possession well. With 6.5 minutes played here, still goalless between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Richards does well. And he drops it to Munoz, gets it back. Now finds Lacroix on just on the edge of the centre circle. Long ball forward to Mitchell, then he plays 1-2 with Eza. Mitchell again with the low cross in. Comes all the way across. Ishmael Sokol at the end of that. And now here comes Gay again to Eza. 0-0 is the scoreline. If you just tuned into us here this afternoon. Eza across there now to Gay. Kamada. Good ball into Richards. Richards does well. Munoz. Good ball forward to Lacroix. Back he goes now to Gay. Gay to Lacroix again halfway. Now Richards just over halfway and coming towards this right hand side. He cuts in field and finds Lacroix inside the centre circle just past the centre spot where we kick off. And now back to Richards who finds Munoz out wide. Back to Richards again and now Lacroix inside the centre circle. He sends it on half across to Gay who turns and drops it all the way back there to Dean Henderson in the Palace score. 28 minutes on the clock. He remains scoreless here at Wembley's. Mateta is in behind it and John Phil Mateta's thrown goal. John Phil Mateta scored and Crystal Palace take the lead. Oh, that he's been disallowed, I believe, for a foul in the build-up. And let me just look at this again. Ball played forward. It's Ezri Konza who goes down and the whistle's already gone. And he's put the ball in the back of the net. And is this a soft one? Yeah, that is soft. There's not enough contact in there for Konza to go down. And that, in my opinion, should not have been disallowed there. The officials have got that one wrong. The officials have got that one wrong. Alice should be 1-0 up here. As we stand, it is still goalless here in the FA Cup. Let me know your thoughts on that one. It looks soft to me. As now is Martinez with possession. Moving towards 29.5 minutes gone. He is still Palace 0, Aston Villa 0 here on the commentary hub. Here comes Catch down the line. He goes well in. He goes down this time. Free kick to Aston Villa again. Fouled by Daichi Kamada. But for me there, guys, the Palace goal should not have been disallowed. It's a cheap foul. It's a soft foul. And there's not enough contact in it for Konza to go down like he did there for me. Here comes Star. The Palace. Oh, what a goal! That one will not be disallowed. And Eze has just thunderbolted it into the top corner. And Crystal Palace lead at Wembley Stadium. What a stunning goal from Erebici Eze, who has given Crystal Palace the lead at Wembley Stadium. And that one will not be disallowed, I'll tell you. Stunning strike, straight into the top corner. Two goalkeepers would have kept that one out. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. And it's fantastic work again from Jean-Philippe Mateta from Ismail Assar this time. He does running in. There's a wonderful strike from the edge of the penalty. You see Sarr, he reads the danger. Torres tries to close it down. He hits the top of Ismail Assar. Sarr collects the ball on the left, on the right hand side. He cuts past Luka Dean like he was not there and teed up Eze for a stunning strike into the roof of the net. And Crystal Palace lead by a goal to nil at Wembley Stadium. And that goal is absolutely magnificent. Sweet like chocolate as that ball hits the roof of the net. That's how it was. And the Palace fans away to my left hand side jumping for joy. They're the ones you can hear away to our left hand side. The Villa fans all silenced. Konza does well now to find Tielemans as Villa have it all to do. 31 minutes on the clock when that goal went in. Is Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. And now Watkins for Aston Villa, trying to get them back on level terms. And Watkins has been nudged off the ball by Lacroix, puts it out for a corner kick to Aston Villa. And Villa have got it all to do now in the FA Cup. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Remember, Aston Villa had won their previous 3 encounters between these two sides. Could Palace win this one today? Tielemans with the corner then for Aston Villa. Low balling across. Shot comes in. Asensio is there. Marco Asensio delivers the ball into his penalty. Heads up and just wide. In the end, I think that come from Pau Torres. He did. And his header just goes to the wrong side of the post. But Crystal Palace head off there. And that's a fantastic header. Just wide from Pau Torres. And it's Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Wonderful effort. Just wide. And a big shout out to our good friend JB, John Stuttard, who is in, who says Palace don't deserve to be winning on the balance. I would have to agree. Villa have been their better side, but if you don't take your chances, JB, you fall behind. And Henderson there just comes out and clears the ball away, but the offside flag was up against Ollie Watkins, and Henderson wasn't to know that, so he did that well there. But Villa, like you say, JB, they've been the better side, but if you don't take your chances when you're on top, you do get punished, and that is what's happened then. Just before that though, JB, what are your thoughts on the disallowed goal for Crystal Palace? Because for me, Konza goes down far too easily, in my opinion. And Mateta should have had a goal just before Eze's goal, but take it up and away, JB. You've got to say Eze's goal was superb. Let's watch on as Villa try to get back into this tiredness. Watkins is closing down. Henderson after Richards plays it back to us. Is Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Eze's gone on 31 minutes the difference as the ball is cleared up towards halfway is Kamara. And Kamara goes down on the challenge of Adam Wharton. Daichi Kamada was in there as well on Boubacar Kamara. Kamara apologises to Kamara. Well, Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0 is the scoreline. We're spending down here through the action this afternoon. Cheers to have you with us this afternoon here on the commentary hub. We're also live on Storm FM and Focus on Football this afternoon. This is John McGinn for Aston Villa. Good bit of play there from McGinn. Back to Tielemans and back to Luca Dean. Now Pau Torres to Tielemans. We've got Kamara to Konza, now Cash. And Cash will look up. Drops it back there to Konza. On the edge of his own penalty area. And he will fetch this ball forward. Wonderful ball into John McGinn. Round the corner to Marco Asensio. Ball over the top looking one of Watkins. Cleared away. On this first. Boubacar Kamara. Kamara in towards Rodgers. Back to Kamara again. Down the line he goes towards Rodgers. And he's out of play for a throw into Aston Villa. Morgan Rodgers stays down. As does Tyree Mitchell. The Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0 is the latest scoreline. As we see the challenge again. And Morgan Rodgers is down on the ground. Just getting back to his feet now. And it remains 1-0 to Crystal Palace here. Can Palace keep Villa out or get another goal before half time? Because if they get another goal, it could well and truly change the team talk of Unai Emery. Here's Luca Dean for John McGinn. McGinn cuts in field. Was off for Kamara. Now Cash. Kamara again. And now here comes the brilliant run of Jean-Philippe Mateta. And Mateta's coming forward. And Jean-Philippe Mateta's in towards the penalty area. Ball it was Ismail Assar off his head. And just bounces. And he's just kept in play by Yuri Tielemans. Went into the path of Emi Martinez. And Palace in our position. And here comes Ollie Watkins. For Aston Villa head-to-head stuff now. Villa trudging towards the penalty area. So we're getting Watkins. No ball across and pulled behind by Lacroix for a corner. Brilliant game this. And that goal has really opened things up now. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Here is Marco Asensio watching on. As he's about to take this corner. Mateta getting back to defend here. Here comes Asensio with the corner. In towards the penalty area it goes. And it's saved by Henderson up from Konza and cleared away. Ball back in from Rodgers this time. All the way across towards the back post and cleared away by Kamada in the back post this time. Crystal Palace living a charmed life on the ball there. As Ezri Konza just saw it saved by Dean Henderson. Ball picked up here. Well, by Morgan Rodgers up against Tyree Mitchell. Rodgers crossing towards the penalty, deflects behind off the Mitchell for yet another Aston Villa corner. And from the last one, Henderson saved brilliantly from Ezri Konza. Fantastic save. That was going in, down into the ground, and it was very hard to save them. And he did well to save it there, Dean Henderson. Asensio to this corner again. He towards the penalty this time, flicks on. And act clear this time by Ishmael Assar up towards halfway. And Cash drops it all the way back to Emi Martinez, who will look to send this ball forward. Moving towards the final 5 minutes of the first half to play. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Here is Kamara for Konza. Kamara again. Asensio does well. As he comes short, and Asensio's picked up possession again. He's going back towards the centre circle. For Torres now. Torres cuts in field. Keeps hold of possession. Drops it back to Konza. And there is Kamara. Tillemans. Kamara wins the ball back. And the referee says just a free kick. Foul by Kamara on Tillemans. And Kamara rolls it to Tillemans. And Torres now has it. Here's Lucadine. And now Torres again. To the final 4 minutes of this first half, still 1-0 to the Eagles, who are the nominated home side in this semi-final of the FA Cup. Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. As Lucadine has possession in field to John McGinn. Good bit of play this from Aston Villa to keep on of possession. Torres, back it goes there to Emi Martinez. And now Konza, who can come forward here for Aston Villa. Infield to Tillemans, round the corner to Cash. Back he goes to Konza. Now Tillemans again, turns, gets the ball forward to McGinn, who does well. And there is Kamara, forward to Watkins, who goes down. Pushing the back from Lacroix, a free kick for Aston Villa. Watkins was the man fouled. And it remains Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0, if you're just tuning into us. Going on 31 minutes through Eze, which was a good goal, well taken finish. And the Palace fans are really enjoying this game today. As ball comes in towards penalty, towards the back post. Villa have got men staying up there. Konza was in there. Most going on of it is Rodgers trying to keep the ball in. He pulls the ball back. Konza's there, but the ball had already gone out. It will be a goal kick to Crystal Palace, and Konza will be there from that free kick a few moments ago, and almost getting an end of this as he got knocked back into the penalty from John McGinn, and then he stayed up there for the ball back in from Rodgers. The ball had already gone out of play before Rodgers could have put the ball back into the penalty area. Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. And here we just see this brilliant run again from Jean-Philippe Mateta, and this is the chance for Ismail Assar, just come off the top of the head, and it was so unlucky that Jean-Philippe Mateta does really well to keep the ball in play there initially, and did a fantastic run down the line. His ball in, we just didn't really get a clean connection on there, Ismail Assar, and he did back across goal rather than towards goal. Now, from a few moments ago, which we've just seen the replay of, as here comes Lucadine into Yuri Tillemans across there now to Matty Cash. Cash back he goes to Konza. Konza in field to Tillemans. Tillemans gets it forward for Kamara. Kamara gets the ball out wide into the path with Asensio in towards Cash. Asensio there again. Cash goes down inside the penalty, nothing given. And now Eze, who's open the scoring in this FA Cup semi-final clash, finds Wharton. And now he's Daniel Munoz, who's charging over halfway. Munoz with the ball for Ishmael outside the penalty. So across. And could it be two? Kamara was in there. He's got the ball again now. Eza's a penalty. Eza. Ball back to Daniel Munoz again. Munoz slips us and puts the ball in. Got by Luca Dean. Dean clears it downfield. Only as far as Wharton. Munoz again cuts in field. Lives across towards the back post. Eza's in there. Comes off the of Morgan Rogers. And behind for a corner kick to Crystal Palace. As we enter the first half stoppage time here, which we've got 2 additional minutes of at the end of this first half. And this is a green one again. Ishmael saw local offside. And there's a shot coming in from Tyree Mitchell at the back post. He just kicked it and he hit his standing foot. And then fell away of Asensio to clear. And if Mitchell had connected with it properly, that could have been 2-0 to Crystal Palace before half time. We've got a corner to try and make it 2-0 though. Eza with the corner. D1 in towards the near post, flicked on and just plodded wide at the back post. Is Leclerc in there at the back post and he puts it just wide. The Palace fans are the ones who are making the noise. And it's the Villa fans who are deflated. And here they come again. Konza for Aston Villa. Ball across to Pau Torres. Torres will charge up towards halfway, gets this ball into John McGinn. McGinn does well. Knee 1-2. Tillemans turns away. Wonderful play from Yuri Tillemans. Out wide to Cash. Kamara. Again. Kamara. Konza to Torres. Closing stage of this first half. Palace lead by a 1-0 going into half time in this first of the 2 semi-final matches that we've got on the channel. Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. As there goes the half-time whistle at the end of the first period. Crystal Palace lead at half-time in the FA Cup. With Hodgson there, stand next to Mal Bright and Steve Parish in the crowd. They've seen Eza with a superb, sumptuous goal into the top corner from the edge of the penalty area. There was moments after Mateta had a goal disallowed. But half-time in the FA Cup semi-finals is Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa have it all to do. Join us in around about 50 minutes time for the start of the second half. Welcome back to the second half coverage here on the commentary of the Villa players are back out on the field of play ahead of kick-off. So too are Crystal Palace players. They're just making their ways back out onto the field of play ahead of kick-off for the second half, where Aston Villa trail by a goal to 0 against Crystal Palace. Eze's goal on 31 minutes. The difference between the two sides looks like there's no changes to either side at the start of the second half. We're about to get ready to get back off and underway in the second half. Aston Villa kicking to my right hand side in the second half, and they will be the ones getting us off and underway in the second half of the game against Crystal Palace as they try to find their way back into this FA Cup semi-final clash. Will they come out on top, or will the Eagles not pick the villains to the FA Cup final spot as the second half is back off underway for the game at Wembley Stadium? Aston Villa trail by a goal to 0 against Crystal Palace. And just remember, if we end as a draw in this game, we will go to extra time, and we're back underway. We'll bring you the teams in just a second or two after this throw-in for Aston Villa, which will be taken by Matty Cash on the near side of the right, throws in towards the penalty area, headed away by Mark Gaiety and cleared away by Tyreek Mitchell towards Jean-Philippe Mateta. The ball bounces now and goes out of play. Watch out of play by Ishmael Assar. So it's Dean Henderson in goal for Crystal Palace. Chris Richards, Maxime Lacroix and Mark Gaiety across the back. It's Daniel Munoz, Adam Wharton, Daichi Kamada and Tyree Mitchell across the back four. Ishmael across the back three. Ishmael Assar and Richie Eze behind Jean-Philippe Mateta for Crystal Palace. And here's Eze trying to get an end of the ball there, but really defending from Torres across the back. Let's take a look at the Villa side. It's Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Torres and Dean across the back. McGinn and Camara in front of the back four. Rogers, Tillemans and Asensio behind Ollie. Watkins is the starting lineups for the second half. As is Mitchell for Crystal Palace, back to Gaiety, and now here comes Daichi Kamada, our wide to Eze. Eze will cut in towards the penalty area, will only to strike, which goes just wide in the end there from Eze into just below the crowd there, but just wide of the target from Eze. And here comes Aston Villa in possession with Konza. Back to Martinez. And Martinez just out of his goal there, and finds Torres, and he's out to the side of his penalty area, and he finds Cash. Here is Watkins. Back to Cash again, and now Konza across the back. There to Torres as they will try and come forward. It remains Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. If you just tune into us here this afternoon, a ball before by Gaiety breaks into the path there of Torres, who drops it back to Martinez again, and comes out to his penalty area and come out to his penalty area and find Cash quite comfortably, who brings it into his spell and away from Mitchell. Cash in towards the centre circle, and Tillemans gets it back to Cash. Now Torres, who sends the ball for looking for the run there of Morgan Rogers, who brings it down well onside as well. Morgan Rogers in towards the penalty area it goes to Green Rogers. Tillemans is there for Cash. Cash delivers a cross in. McGinn's there. Fantastic effort from John McGinn. Fantastic save from Dean Henderson. Excuse me. To push it behind for a corner kick to Aston Villa. But fantastic first time effort from John McGinn as he's coming in from the far side there and winning on to that brilliantly there, John McGinn. from look at Dean! Just wide again, fingertips everything this time from Dean Henderson. But Luca Dean goes close this time as well. And Aston Villa have started the second half really well. Corner comes in, he's headed out to the edge of the penalty area. Kamara's into the path of Luca Dean. And a fantastic fingertip save from Dean Henderson. Essential with the corner flipped on the near post by Tillemans. Ezra's there to try and bring it away. And he can bring the ball away, Ezra. Wonderful one here from Ezra now. And a wonderful crossfield pass towards Daichi Kamara. And Kamara, can he keep the ball in play? He can. Bring it down well on his chest. Up against Catch. Kamara in towards the penalty area looking Shmela Sarr. Wharton heads it on. It's an eye-looping ball. Mateta's challenging will be cleared by Martinez, who sends it long downfield looking for the run of Watkins. Ends away this time there well by Richards. And now, brilliant piece of defending again as Villa have got possession. 5 minutes gone in the second half. It's Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. If you're just joining us here this afternoon, we're spending guiding you through the action on the commentary. We're also live on Focus on Football and Storm FM. And here comes Eza. Wonderful one here from Eza in towards Mitchell. And Mitchell's still going well. Low cross comes out to Wharton. And he goes down there just as inside the penalty. And the referee says, penalty kick to Aston. Penalty kick to Crystal Palace. Palace have got a penalty. VAR will check this. But Palace have been awarded a spot kick. Palace have been awarded a spot kick here. He's a ball towards the penalty. It's Eza. And he's nudged off over there by Boubacar Kamara. And the referee, Anthony Taylor, took a long hard look at it and then just pointed to the penalty spot and gave a penalty kick there. Oliver Glasner thought it was straight away. He was nodding. Enter was the man who was fouled. And Crystal Palace have a chance to make it 2-0. At the start of the second half. Been playing 6 minutes of the start of it was 7 minutes of the start of the second half. And I can tell you that Crystal Palace fans away to my right side are happy about this. The penalty decision stands. And the man who's putting the ball down on the spot is Jean-Philippe Mateta. The chance to double the lead for Crystal Palace. For Jean-Philippe Mateta from the penalty spot. Can he do it here now? Up against Emi Martinez. Being told to wait for his whistle. From Anthony Taylor. He's just telling Emi Martinez to stay on his line. Here. He's watching on the players outside the penalty area now, the referee. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta steps up and he puts it wide. How has he missed? How has he missed there, Jean-Philippe Mateta? That really should be 2-0. And he puts it just wide. I think even if he got it on target, I think Martinez would have saved it because he gets the right way, Martinez. But he drags his effort wide there. And afterward, it should be 2-0. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It remains Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. It looked a penalty to me. I know some of the people who may be listening didn't think it was, but it looked a penalty to me. Now this has just given Villa up. And here's Rodgers towards Asensio and Alex have cleared it away. Jean-Philippe Mateta does well to hold up the play. Ball cleared away by Richards. Ishmael Assar chasing after this. And Wharton can't get there as Kamara brings the ball away. For Asensio. John McGinn. Luca Dean. His cross is blocked. First round ball, nothing given. As it's cleared away by Daniel Munoz. Out of play for a throw-in to Aston Villa. Torres will take the throw-in, will he? No, he will leave it here for Luca Dean. And now Palace are complaining that Villa are just wasting time here. It's their own time they're wasting. They're trailing. We think they want to get on very quickly. Here are the villains. And now here they come again. Through Konza. Ezri Konza coming forward here. And now here's Asensio. Does well. Infield to Kamara. Asensio again. Kamara again. Eza. Back to Mateta. Jean-Philippe Mateta coming forward. Jean-Philippe Mateta still coming forward. Asensio clears it away. Rogers spins away now. Ezekiel comes again. Cleared it long downfield by Henderson. And that's picked off by Malikash. Collecting the attack from the night skies here at Wembley Stadium. Back to Emi Martinez as Villa want to try and speed this game up a little bit. We start doing that, but then they slow it down through Torres and now Dean. Torres again. Martinez now for Aston Villa. Ball sent forward, looking for the run of Watkins. Too much on that in the end. Claimed by Henderson as we're into 11 minutes of the second half played so far. It's still Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. As is Kamara. Wharton gets it round the corner. Here is Cash. Does well. Finds Torres. Across to Luca Dean. Infield to John McGinn. Now Yuri Tillemans. Good bit of play from Tillemans. Turns away from his man. Gets it through towards Watkins. Rogers out wide to McGinn. Too much on that pass towards Luca Dean. And it goes out of play. And Crystal Palace will have the decision. Palace still lead by a goal to 0. They have missed a penalty in the second half through Jean-Philippe Mateta after Eze was fouled inside the penalty area by Boubacar Kamara. And it remains Palace 1, Aston Villa 0. Rodston there watching on. With a smile on his face, the former England boss. We've just seen him there. Must have managed Crystal Palace as well, did Roy Hodgson. Liverpool and Fulham as well amongst the clubs that Roy managed. Resigned from England due to their loss to Iceland in Euro 2016. It's Ismail Assar! What a goal that is! Crystal Palace have doubled their lead through Ismail Assar. "13 minutes into the second half, and Crystal Palace have doubled their advantage." Pick that out from Ismail Assar. As he says, let's go 2-0 up here. With an interception, Mateta laid it off to Ismail Assar, who unleashed a strike from around about 25, 30 yards out into the bottom corner. And Ismail Assar has put Crystal Palace 2-0 up now, and Crystal Palace could be on their way to the FA Cup final and back to Wembley in May. Ismail Assar, take a bow. Emi Martinez, no chance there. And Crystal Palace have now got a 2-goal lead in this tie. And we've only played 14 minutes of the second half. There's still quite a bit to go in this game. Fantastic effort from Ismail Assar as Villa are making some substitutions here. John McGinn is coming off. Also too is Morgan Rogers, it looks like. And Leon Bailey looks like maybe one of them to come on here. And so too Ian Matson. So Villa have made a double changes. Luca Dean and John McGinn off. Leon Bailey and Ian Matson on. So Matson will go to left back. Bailey will play on the wing, on the left wing. So there's Matson interception. And Villa will try and get back into this game now. I don't know why they took off McGinn, because he was the one who was looking more likely to try and create something for them, in my opinion. And Villa, as here comes Palace again, cleared away. And out of play, he goes for a throw-in. And the Palace fans jumping up and down, away to my right hand side, away to my left hand side, away to my right. It's all silent. The Villa fans are stunned. An hour and 60 minutes on the clock. It's still Palace 2, Villa 0. And Crystal Palace fans are jumping for joy. Villa fans are stunned into silence. And there's Mitchell, who puts the ball out of play for a corner to Aston Villa. And if Villa were to lose this game today, it would be the first time in 4 attempts that Crystal Palace have beaten them in the FA Cup. With Villa winning the previous 3 games. Here they come this time with Matson in towards the penalty area, headed away by Gertie. Good interception there by Gertie. Brilliantly done. Here Villa coming again with Matson. Yuri Tillemans has possession. Kamara. Out wide for Bailey. Here comes Bailey now for Aston Villa. In towards the penalty. Heads away by Richards. Mitchell helps it clear. Ezra trying to drag there, but Bailey wins it rid of him. Here's Kamara. For Yuri Tillemans! Just over the top of the crossbar. So unlucky there, Yuri Tillemans. That really should have been 2-1. Fantastic effort from around about 25 yards out. Just didn't have the dip right at the last minute. He did dip, but once it got over the top of the net. But Villa have probably been the better side overall in the game, but they've not taken their chances when they fell their way. And Palace have done a really good job to keep them quiet, stop them having real goal scoring opportunities, and then punish them on the kick. And the Palace fans, away to my left hand side, are jumping for joy. And they'll be glad when this is all over, if they're in the final. As here they're coming again. John Philip Miteta can't get in on that ball in behind us. Martinez comes out and claims it well and picks out Pau Torres, who finds Yuri Tillemans into the path of Ezri Konza. Konza for Matty Cash, who's over halfway charging towards the penalty area. Bailey's in front of him, but Cash cuts in field. Villa have lost out, and here comes Eza. Eza charging forward. One for a run here from Eza. Good ball out wide. Headed down towards Ismail Assar, cleared away. And now here comes Wharton. Good play into the path there of Munoz. In towards Ismail Assar. Assar pulls the ball back. Eza can't get there. Play on, says the referee. Here comes Matson. Back he goes now to Torres via Tillemans. Palace 2-0 up after just 18 second half, coming up towards 19 second half minutes. And Crystal Palace have not to go out of second gear today. Villa have been woeful in attack, in my opinion. They've not really tested the keeper that much. And if they wanted to get to the final, they had to play a lot better than this, in my opinion, Aston Villa. As Villa win themselves a free kick, fouled by Richards there. And the referee takes Richards' name and number and will show the American a yellow card. Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. If you're just tuning into us this afternoon, Russ Whelan, the man on the microphone, guiding you through the action from Wembley Stadium. There is that Steve Coppell there? I believe it is. Looking well. Yuri Tillemans standing over possession. And towards the penalty area it goes. Richards heads it up and away. Mitchell helps him get it clear. Kamara back in. Put on by Rodgers. Here is Watkins. Ollie Watkins through Rodgers. Rodgers moves the ball in towards Torres. He breaks from the other shot blocked by his own man and goes over, and the referee is given here. Is he in the corner? Because I think that's spot by his own man, Pau Torres. From Bailey here. Or does he come off Mitchell and then on to Torres? Let's have a look. Rodgers moves the ball back in. He's punched clear. Comes out to his shot blocked. I think he just comes off Mitchell there in the end and over. So it may well be a corner. Leon Bailey, and they can't find the way past the innocent. In fact, I just go off the Villa man Pau Torres, who was down there and went back for a corner. There's some Villa fans watching on. Here's Mitchell with the ball over the top looking towards Mateta. Well, there is Martinez to claim. Goes out to Torres as Villa will try and come forward. Now, Konza does well here, Ezri Konza. Kamara. Now, Cash. Kamara again. As Villa just keep hold of possession. And now here is Konza to Torres. Now, Tillemans. And now back towards Consbury. Let's see run for Matty Cash. Good job Cash was alert there, otherwise Palace could have pounced on that and gone through. Here is Tillemans again. Chip ball forward looking for the one of Rodgers. And Villa through Matty can't keep the ball in play there. And there it is Jacob Ramsey who's about to come on here now, it looks like. Looks like he's going to be the next one to come on. And he clears this ball away as Villa will look to fetch on. Remember, looks to fetch on Jacob Ramsey shortly. I wonder. Looks like Daniel Mahalen may be coming on as well. So it might be another double substitution for Villa in a second. Here comes Matson for Watkins. Watkins in towards the penalty. Still been Ollie Watkins. Breaks through and is claimed. In fact, it wasn't Watkins, it was Rodgers who was out there. Ross Barkley's about to come on here for Aston Villa. So too is Jacob Ramsey. Ensign sends this ball down for the next time the ball goes out of play. We'll see Ross Barkley and Jacob Ramsey come on for Aston Villa. Ball's out of play now, and Villa will make their changes now. Masson just stops so the subs can be made, and it's number 21, Marco Asensio, to be replaced by Jacob Ramsey. And also coming off I believe, is number 44, Boubacar Kamara. He is. And he's been replaced by Ross Barkley. So youngster and Jacob Ramsey on, experiencing Ross Barkley on. And taken off was Marco Asensio and Boubacar Kamara. Here's Cash for Bailey. Bailey does well, cuts in field. Cross field pass. Well there to Ian Matson. Matson. Low ball in, up into the air. Cleared by Lacroix. Breaks there for Ramsey. Edge of the penalty on the left hand side for Matson. Matson. Back he goes to Tillemans. Ross Barkley's first involvement is coming off of the bench. And Ross Barkley lands up a strike. He just goes wide in the end. And that's what the fans want to see. Their team taking risks. As we've had 25 minutes of this second half gone. Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. And well, we may be seeing the end of Aston Villa in the FA Cup for this season. Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. There's Tyrone Mings just sitting on the steps next to the bench. Could he be about to come on to try, Villa? It's Palace running themselves a throw. Will Palace turn to the bench and make a substitution shortly? I don't see who would come off though, because they've all put in a decent shift. It's going to be hard for me to pick a player of the match from this Palace side today. Here's Mateta. Ismail Assar, low cross in. Cash is there. Villa will come away with possession. Mitchell was there at the back post. Konza. Mateta up against Konza. Konza's still got possession. Plays off Mateta. Out for a throw. And he's getting the Palace fans up on their feet. Cheering and singing. As the Palace fans, away to my left hand side, are ramping up the noise again. Villa fans, away to my right, silenced. Will we see a winning goal? Or will we see a goal back for Villa first of all? And will we see go to extra time and potentially penalties this evening? I just want to say with these goals that we've had today, I have not had a 0-0 draw for quite a while even on the commentary hub. Doing live commentaries. And here comes Villa. Getting back in numbers to try and defend this Palace attack. And it's clear Palace wants an handball inside the penalty area. Referee waves it away. It's mainly the fans shouting for handballers. Here comes Jacob Ramsey for Villa. And Ramsey is charging forward. Ramsey drops it back to Yuri Tillemans. Tillemans holding up the play. VAR will be checking the handball appeals, which the fans are wanting down at the far end for Crystal Palace fans. Then away to my left. While the play will still continue at the moment, as Cash fires the ball to Leon Bailey. Bailey charges in towards the penalty area. Cross deflected behind for a corner. None of the Palace players have gone across to ask if they're getting a penalty there. None of their players appealed either. The Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. If you're just tuning into us here this afternoon. Ball in towards the penalty area is cleared away by Villa. By Palace there through Adam Wharton, I believe he was. But Villa have got the ball with Matson, and he will try and get this ball back in towards the penalty area. Try and give Villa a hope of getting back into this game. Almost 29 minutes over the second half played. Is still Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. Goals coming from Eze and Ismail Assar in the FA Cup semi-final. It will be Palace, as it stands, will be going through to the final, where they will face either Nottingham Forest or Manchester City back here in May. Here they come. Villa. Through Bailey. Ball back in. Tees up towards Barkley. Can't get there. He goes another change of John Philly Mateta. I don't think Mateta got anything off the ball. I'd like to see that one again. Here's Madsen. Here's Rodgers inside the penalty area now. Villa still coming. Madsen again. Rodgers. No ball in from Ramsey. Tillemans is there. And Tillemans goes down. And the referee is blowing his whistle there. I think he's just stopping the play a moment. Is this a penalty now? Let's have a look at this one. Well, he does get the ball there. Brilliant challenge for Jean-Philippe Mateta. From the angle I first saw it, it didn't look like he got the ball there. And it remains Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. And Palace are making a substitution here now. And it looks as though, I think I've just seen him, he's getting his shirt on. The man who may be coming on, I think is former Leeds United loanee and Arsenal striker, Eddie Nketiah. But wait a minute, can Villa pull one back here? Is Leon Bailey charging forward here? Bailey moving the full back heel for Matty Cash. Cash low cross in. It breaks inside the penalty, still going. Rodgers can't get there. Gay's there. Gay clears. Eza, wonderful bit of play. Brilliant ball in field. Brilliant challenge. Gets the ball forward and the ball over the top. Ismail Assar trying to get there, but he's put too much on that. Munoz trying to get there too, but Villa can charge forward on the right hand side is Pau Torres. The entirety of the Villa defence pushing forward now. Ramsey. Matson. Ramsey low cross in, saved by Henderson. And Palace are defending really, really well. Less than 15 minutes to go now. We've almost got 13 and a half minutes left to play. And I was right when I noticed his shirt number, Eddie Nketiah, will be about to come on for Crystal Palace. He was one of the 3 changes who would drop down to the bench. With Jean-Philippe Mateta coming back into the side today. Will it be Jean-Philippe Mateta coming off for the former Arsenal and Leeds United forward? Here comes Aston Villa. Will look to try and get at least a consolation goal, maybe even more, as they come again. Through Leon Bailey inside the penalty area now. Bailey, look what's his shot saved. Kamada gets it away for Eza. Does well here, Eza. Brilliantly played. And now, brilliant challenge there by Yuri Tillemans to block off the run of Tyree Mitchell. Well, that's a fantastic save again there from Dean Henderson to save from Leon Bailey. Pushed it away from danger as well. And it remains Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. Mateta goes down. Free kick to Crystal Palace, and Palace will be making a substitution here, and it is lasting moment for Jean-Philippe Mateta as he is replaced by Eddie Nketiah. Daniel Marlon will be coming on for Aston Villa as well. Well, first, the substitution for Crystal Palace. Jean-Philippe Mateta is replaced by Eddie Nketiah. And it's Morgan Rodgers coming off for Aston Villa, replaced by Daniel Marlon. Will Villa find a way back into this game? We've played 33 and a half minutes of the second half. Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. If you just joined us this afternoon, Russ Vernon with you, guiding you through the action as Crystal Palace looks set to be booking, as it stands, booking their place back here next month in the FA Cup final. And they will face the winners of Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. We'll play in the other semi-final tomorrow afternoon. 4:30 kick-off for that one. Join us on air from round about 4:15, 4:20. Palace 2, Aston Villa 0 is the scoreline. It will be a long throw in towards the penalty area. Brilliant bit of movement. Ball worked forward. Here's Kamada. Edge of the penalty area, left hand side. Actually Kamada crossed in. And in there! And it's just wide from Ismail Assar. Who could have had his second there, Ismail Assar. His header goes to the wrong side of the post. So unlucky from Ismail Assar there. Brilliant bit of run. Good cross in. And the header from Ismail Assar is wide. Here's Donyell Marlon. As Villa will try to come forward. Here's Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey. Here Matson. Low cross and looking for Watkins. He's put behind. It will be a corner kick to Aston Villa. Good defending in there. I believe that was Richards or Lacroix in there. I think it was actually Lacroix. Read the situation well and defended well. Yuri Tillman's with the corner then. It's Palace's 9th corner of the game. Villa's 9th corner of the game. Palace have had one, should I say. In towards the penalty. Ended away this time by Kamada. To Manny Cash who comes in with the strike. Eza heads it away. Matson heads it back in. Lacroix heads it away this time. Headed back in by Barkley. Richards heads it away this time. Barkley again. And now here comes Daniel Munoz. Down the left hand side he goes, Munoz. On to Edward Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah inside the penalty area. Eddie Nketiah's shot is saved by Emi Martinez. And Crystal Palace almost had a third. But here comes Ramsey. With a full run here, Ramsey. Into the last 9 minutes of the game. Watkins is there. Watkins goes down. And the referee is giving a corner to Aston Villa. Will Aston Villa get something back here in the last 8.5 minutes? And we see the brilliant challenge again. Palace take the corner quickly. Matson rolls it back to Cash. Tillemans delivers the ball in. Pushed away. Headed away again. As they're trying to get it clear. Third to Ismail Assar Mitchell. Palace defending for their lives. Villa trying to get one back. Crossed in. Deflects. Behind. Corner. Still 2-0 to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup semi-final against Aston Villa. Here they come. Will Palace. Hold on, there's a man down here for Crystal Palace. And it is Tyree Mitchell who's down. Here it remains. Palace 2, Aston Villa 0. Will they see this game out here? At the end of this game today, we'll bring you the full classified check of all of the scores from today's matches from the Premier League, Scottish Leagues, EFL, as well as we see the try from Ismail Assar, which looks likely to have sealed the deal for Crystal Palace. Aston Villa have a corner. Yuri Tillemans will take the corner, but Palace have made a substitution. Tyree Mitchell has gone off to be replaced by Chelsea loanee Ben Chilwell. Punched away by Henderson. And now Palace will have a chance to make it another set piece, and Kamada goes into the referee's notebook there for a foul. Out on the wing on Yuri Tillemans, after he blocks the ball in, stamps on his foot. Daichi Kamada goes into the referee's noble, the Japanese international. He'll be playing against his fellow countrymen in Altanaka next season, with Leeds United back in the Premier League. Tillemans, Rosie for Matsu to deliver. It's headed away. Will Bailey keep the ball in play? Yes, is the answer to that. He delivers a crossing towards the back post. Heads up and wide from Pau Torres in the end. But actually, Ross Barkley was round the back there. And with around about 5 minutes to go, Palace are just seeing this game out and trying to get something from this game. Villa, and they will not have a chance to do that now. It is still Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0, if you're just tuning into us this afternoon. Villa knocking on the door. Daniel Marlon can't get there. Watkins can, and he sent Marlon away. Daniel Marlon is charging away with possession here now. Wonderful play, Daniel Marlon rolls it across to Manny Cash. Cash, low effort and wide from Manny Cash there, and that's just gone wide. And Alex, they're closing in as the seconds tick down. 4 minutes left to play. And almost getting ready to give us my player of the match. I'll be giving you that very, very shortly. Who will win the player of the match this afternoon in this game? Will it be a Palace? It'll be a Palace player, but which player will it be? Palace have dug in and played well today, and with them looking likely to win this FA Cup semi-final tie, and then after 3 straight defeats in the FA Cup to Aston Villa, they might be getting through to the semi-final, to the final, where Palace have never won the FA Cup. Could Crystal Palace win the FA Cup next month? They're just 3 minutes plus stoppage time away from getting to the final. As Eza is making way for Crystal Palace. Eza is coming off here now, and he has played fantastic today. Eza, fantastic play for Crystal Palace. Eza's coming off here, and coming on in place of Eza is, just trying to see which number shirt he was there, is Jefferson Lerma. Adam Wharton's been substituted as well for Will Hughes. And this is now a good time of N8 to give you our player of the match. And it's one of them who's just been substituted. And it's number 10 for Crystal Palace, Eza, who gets our player of the match today. Fantastic performance from him. And a stunning strike to open the scoring in the FA Cup semi-final tie. Crystal Palace 2, Aston Villa 0 is the scoreline, as we've played 88 minutes, just less than 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go now. And Crystal Palace are almost there in the final. And with Villa playing balls like that, they will be heading to the final, Crystal Palace, next month. And I'll tell you when the FA Cup final will be played. The FA Cup final will be played back here at Wembley Stadium on Saturday 17th of May 2025. And the ball is out of play. For a throw-in to Aston Villa. We've just barely got stoppage. We've just really got stoppage time to get anything out of this game. Crystal Palace have got 1 foot in the finals, rolling towards the penalty area. Marlon strike. Henderson with the save. Oliver Glasner, Gene of their fans away to my left hand side there as Henderson clears the ball down through towards Eddie and Ketty. Lemmer's there too. The ball is forward towards the back penalty, and we're going to have 7 additional minutes at the end of this semi-final in the FA Cup here at Wembley. 7 minutes for Palace to hold on or maybe securing with a 3rd goal. Or will Aston Villa somehow turn this game around and send us to extra time? It's a throw-in to Crystal Palace, and Lerman just sends the ball long. Cash is there, brings it down halfway to Ian Matson. I think Villa have missed Marcus Rashford today. Here they come there with Bailey. Leon Bailey. Ian Matson. Crossed in towards the back post. Richards. Watkins is in there. Nolan again. And his shot goes out of play for a throw-in. A poor attempt of a shot there from Daniel Marlon. And the Palace fans are jumping up and down, including the youngsters. Jonathan Mateta. There's our play of the match. Abichi Eza. Ben Chilwell is watching on here. Long throw downfield. And he'll be cleared away. Here they come again. Catch into Tillemans. Torres. Good play this by Aston Villa. Can they get a goal back now, which will make it a grandstand finish? Here they come. Drops it back here now. For Konza. It looks as though Palace may be 1 foot into the FA Cup final. If they can hold on to this lead here, which they are doing at the moment, as Barkley will come forward. Will Nottingham Forest or Manchester City face Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final? On Saturday the 17th of May 2020. Back here at Wembley. Will we see? Oh, we will! Crystal Palace have sealed it! And it will be Crystal Palace in the final. Ismail Assar has just made it Crystal Palace 3. Aston Villa 0. And it will be Crystal Palace moving into the FA Cup final now. There is just around about 3 minutes left to play. But Crystal Palace have sealed the deal. Extra time will not be needed today. Crystal Palace are booking their seats back in this stadium next month. Ismail Assar races onto a through ball here and just nonchalantly plays it beyond Emi Martinez to make it Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0, and Crystal Palace on the way to the FA Cup final back in May. What a game this has been. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. Ismail Assar with 2. Richie Ezra played the match with 1. And Ismail Assar has just sealed the deal for Crystal Palace. And Aston Villa, their evening has just got to all or worse as the ball is played forward. Ball towards a penalty area this time from Aston Villa, who was almost through behind for a corner. Come off Munoz there, did the ball in after a brilliant ball back across into the penalty area there. But Aston Villa have been woeful in front of goal today, and Crystal Palace have taken their chances when it's come their way, and Aston Villa have been woeful when it's come to taking their chances today. They've not really been able to test Anderson much in this game, and Crystal Palace are heading back to Wembley on the 17th of May to take on either Nottingham Forest or Manchester City in the FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium. There's round about 30 seconds left, or maybe round about a minute or so left, because of the celebrations of the third goal. May have been more time on for that. But Crystal Palace are surely on the nose now. And here Villa come for a consolation with Bailey. In towards the penalty area goes, and Kamada back there defending well. Kamada does superbly well, and Kamada is bringing this ball away. And he's played a wonderful ball into the path there of Munoz. And Munoz has got the ball in. Whereas Ismail Assar and Martinez comes out and claims. And Ismail Assar goes down. But there is a full-time whistle in the end. And Crystal Palace have won by 3-0. They will face Nottingham Forest or Manchester City in the FA Cup final on Saturday, 17th of May, 2025. The game which you can hear here on the commentary. You can hear the other semi-final tomorrow on the commentary hub. But first off, go from Richie Eza, followed by a brace from Ismail Assar. Seal the deal and sealed Crystal Palace's place in the FA Cup final back at Wembley. Full time in the FA Cup semi-final. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. Before we finish this evening, I'm going to take a quick break so I can get my voice back, and then I'll be bringing you the classified check from today's matches up and down the country. But before we do that, let's just go from around about a 5-minute break. Join us back shortly here on the commentary hub, focused on football and Storm FM, as Crystal Palace are into the FA Cup final. They will face Nottingham Forest or Man City on Saturday, the 17th of May. Full time, Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. The Palace fans away to my left, just not going home yet. They're still celebrating here this afternoon as they've won their place in the FA Cup final on Saturday 17th of May 2025. They will face Manchester City, or Nottingham Forest will play tomorrow in the FA Cup final. Let me bring you then the full classified check from today's matches in the Football League up and down the country. So here we go. Time to bring you today's classified check from the football matches up and down the country from the UK, Scotland as well. We'll start off then in the English Premier League. Brighton Hove Albion 3, West Ham United 2. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Newcastle United 3, Ipswich Town 0. Southampton 1, Fulham 2. Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Leicester City 0. EFL Championship. Luton Town 1, Coventry City 0. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Burnley 5. Blackburn Rovers 2, Watford 1. Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Hull City 0, Derby County 1. Middlesbrough 0, Norwich City 0. Millwall 1, Swansea City 0. Oxford United 2, Sunderland 0. Preston North End 1, Plymouth Argyle 2. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Portsmouth 1. EFL League 1. Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 2. Leyton Orient 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Barnsley 1, Shrewsbury Town 2. Burton Albion 2, Cambridge United 1. Crawley Town 3, Northampton Town 0. Exeter City 3, Huddersfield Town 1. Peterborough United 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Stockport County 3, Lincoln City 2. Wigan Athletic 1, Blackpool 1. Wrexham against Charlton Athletic is the evening kickoff at 5:30. Latest score, Wrexham 3, Charlton Athletic 0. EFL League 2. AFC Wimbledon 0, Port Vale 2. Doncaster Rovers 2, Bradford City 1. Harrogate Town 1, Notts County 3. Barrow 3, Bromley 3. Cheltenham Town 3, Carlisle United 2. Chesterfield 4, Morecambe 1. Leewood Town 2, Newport County 0. Gillingham 1, Swindon Town 1. Milton Keynes Dons 0, Grimsby Town 0. Salford City 4, Colchester United 1. Tranmere Rovers 2, Crewe Alexandra 0. Walsall 0, Accrington Stanley 1. Vanarama National League. Woking 2, Eastleigh 2. Barnet 4, Aldershot Town 0. Boston United 2, Gateshead 1. Dagenham Redbridge 6, Altrincham 1. Ebbsfleet United 0, Maidenhead United 2. Forest Green Rovers 1, Oldham Athletic 0. FC Halifax Town 1, Braintree Town 0. Rochdale 5, Hartlepool United 1. Tamworth 4, AFC Fylde 3. Yeovil Town 1, Sutton United 2. York City 2, Solihull Moors 0. National League North. Brackley Town 5, Farsley Celtic 0. Buxton 2, Warrington Town 0. Curzon Ashton 1, Leamington 1. Darlington 3, Needham Market 1. Hereford 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Kingsland Town 0, Chester 3. Marine 4, South Shields 1. Peterborough Sports 1, Scarborough Athletic 1. Radcliffe Borough 1, Alfreton Town 1. Rushall Olympic 1, Chorley 5. Southport 2, Kidderminster Harriers 1. Spennymoor Town 1, Oxford City 0. National League South. Averley 2, Bath City 2. Chippenham Town 0, Hornchurch 4. Dorking Wanderers 2, Chesham United 0. Eastbourne Borough 3, Western Supermare 0. Enfield Town 1, Worthing 5. Farnborough 2, Maidstone United 2. Hemel Hempstead Town 1, Torquay United 4. Slough Town 1, Hampton and Richmond 0. Tunbridge Angels 1, Boreham Wood 3. Truro City 5, St Albans City 2. Welling United 1, Salisbury 1. Weymouth 1, Chelmsford City 6. Scottish Premiership. Arts 0, Dundee United. Arts 0, Dundee 1. Kilmarnock 2, West County 0. Motherwell 3, St Johnstone 2. Dundee United 0, Celtic 5. Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 0. St Mirren 2, Rangers 2. Scottish Championship. Ayr United 2, Queen's Park 2. Dunfermline Athletic 0, Airdrieonians 0. Hamilton Academical 0, Livingston 3. Wraith Rovers 1, Greenock Morton 1. Scottish League 1. Alloa Athletic 2, Montrose 1. Cove Rangers 2, Celtic Arts 2. Dumbarton 3, Annan Athletic 1. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3, Arbroath 0. Queen of the South 2, Stenhousemuir 0. Scottish League 2. Bonnyrigg Rose 2, Spartans 1. Edinburgh City 0, Farfar Athletic 0. Elgin City 3, Stranraer 0. Peterhead 1, East Fife 0. Stirling Albion 1, Clyde 4. That brings you to the end. Welsh Premier League, Conference League playoff round, first round. Connaught Town 5, Barry Town United 2. Cardiff MU 1, Bala Town 0. We've just received a result in from League 1 in the evening kick-off. Wrexham 3, Charlton Athletic 0 is a full-time score, and that means Wrexham will be playing Championship football next season. Full-time as well, almost in the National League, still 2-0 to Southend United. Congratulations to Wrexham, congratulations to Doncaster and Port Vale, who also won promotion today to League 1 from League 2 earlier on this afternoon. But the top two in League 1 now has finally been sewn up. Birmingham have played 43 games, and they're top by 102 points. Wrexham in second on 89 points. Wrexham are promoted to Stockport. Wycombe are in the playoffs. Charlton are as well, and joining them will be either Leyton Orient or Reading, which will go down to the final day in League 1. So, without any further ado, that wraps up our coverage today here on the Commentary Hub with the scores there. Thank you very much. The Palace fans still away to my left hand side, jumping up and down. They've not left yet. The full-time score in the FA Cup this afternoon: Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final, and they will face either Nottingham Forest and Man City on Saturday, 17th of May 2025. From myself, Russ Vernon, and the rest of the team, until tomorrow when we bring you the second semi-final in the FA Cup, who will join Palace back at Wembley next month. Will it be Nottingham Forest or Man City? Joining with Paul James to find out. With that, updates on Liverpool against Spurs tomorrow as well with myself. Can Liverpool just need a point to clinch the title, and they could do it tomorrow against Spurs? Will they though? Join us to find out, and join us also to find out who gets through to the FA Cup final on 17th of May against Crystal Palace. Full time in our feature match tonight: Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 0. Goodbye for now.